Hello and welcome. I am a man called Jay. This evening I am with a very special guest. And do you know what we'll be talking about? We are talking about books. As you know, Africans in London TV or
I am with a very
AILTV.
special guest.
Oh,
And do you know what we'll be talking about? We are talking about books.
oh,
As
can,
you know,
can you please take off your phone?
as you know, Africans in London
Sha-
TV or
Take off your phone, please. Yeah, yeah, we don't want to hear it.
TV or AIL.
Hello, my guest, please switch off your phone. Switch off your phone, yes. Sorry about that, because we are getting some interference and stuff like that. Yes, as I was saying, here at AIL TV, we love music, we love arts, we love everything. But most importantly, we love reading and writing. So, this evening I have got a very special guest who is a writer, and she will tell you what she does. Now, before going, but actually before going into it, let me show you what we'll be talking about. Yes, that is what we'll be talking about this evening. And without going any further, I don't want to bore you with me talking because you are here to listen to my guest. And here we go. Now, let me introduce to you a lady that I have met very long time ago in many settings, in many variations of circumstances. So, my guest this evening is Olivia B. J-Olajide Aluko. This time I think I've got your name right because I'm always having problems pronouncing names. So, Olivia, tell me what's happening here and what are we going to be talking about? On your right hand side, it could be left hand side, wherever you're looking from. Life in the abroad. What is it a novel? What is it?
First of all, I would like to thank you, Joseph, for having me on your online TV. It's a privilege to be here today. And what are we talking about? It's obvious. It's not life in the abroad, life in the abroady. And let me explain what the abroady means. It's a pidgin language of what it is to live abroad. I'm sure you know that, Joseph. So we are talking about a novel,
Yes,
and this is my first novel.
this is your first novel, but you write many books because in some occasions you have got books on African migration, you have got
Yes,
books on other things. So this novel
yes,
here, before we get into it, what actually made you to come up with an idea? So this is life in the abroad. So basically, that's
yeah,
the pidgin English for does that stand for abroad?
yeah. Life abroad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So
life
what
abroad.
what what inspired you to write this novel here?
I would say it's for me writing this novel. It's a dream come true. I tell you what, you refer to the other books that I've written, the two other books, I've always wanted to write this. In fact, I didn't see myself writing those other two books, which are educational books. I saw myself writing a novel, and that's since I was the age of 8. I grew up reading a whole lot of novels from Jeffrey Archer, Sidney Sheldon, Barbara Catlin, a few of them like that, Frank Piretti, a lot of them. And I've vowed that, oh my God, James Anthony Chase, oh my God, I'm going to write. I just want to write. I just want to put all this imagination into writing. But it
So,
took me over how many decades, maybe over 5 decades to materialize that. And I believe that people want something. They want a word that they can identify with. People love stories. Other books I've written are educational books, which are good for those that want. But people love stories. That's why we visit theaters. That's why we visit movies. So when an opportunity came for me to write this novel, I took it. And that was during the lockdown. Thank you.
just posted a comment. I will bring this comment later on. But
Okay.
your background, are
Yeah.
you, because what you see, when we see you are a lawyer, a writer, author of books, and
Yes.
change, and a change
Agent.
agent. I know I've messed up
Yes.
the caption there. So just
Mm.
talk us through about the bit of you being a lawyer, and then we come in
Right.
into the writing bit. Yeah.
Thank you. In regards to my education, my first degree, my second degree, everything I've always known that I've studied has been about law. I had my early education in Nigeria. I had my secondary school and my first university degree in Nigeria, and I qualified as a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. But I practiced, I mean, on a ratio of 5 to 3, I went to court into litigation. Maybe I did 20%, but I didn't like litigation. So I went into company secretariatship. Fast forward, when I moved over to the UK, I didn't come to the UK to continue my law, to be honest. I came to the UK to do what I was told that I should do. And they said, oh, if you do that, you'll be all right in the UK. And that was IT. So I went into IT. I did a few, I did a few lectures, but I looked at it. I said, you know what, Olivia, if you don't want to kill yourself, get out of this class right now. And I knew it wasn't for me. So I met up with my other colleagues who are lawyers who have been in this country before me. And I find out that 95% of them were not even in practice. They've spent a lot of money even doing the course. It's like, well, you could do it, but you may get nothing. You won't get your money back. So I did something else. I did some other jobs along the side. But I went back to study migration and law. And why did I study migration and law? I studied migration and law because that kind of a person that I want to understand why people do the things that they do. Why are they moving? I've stayed abroad for some years. I think it was almost over 10 years before I went back to do my degree. And I was
So
asking
no,
myself a lot of
I think
questions.
you don't mind if I know because we are still talking.
Yeah, yes, sure.
Now, you mentioned that you were told to do something. You were told to do certain subjects. Like many African parents are always basically instructing their children to do
Yeah.
what the parents want, but not the
Yes.
children want. So, was that the case
Yeah.
with you as well?
Exactly so. I didn't want to do law at all. I wanted to study mass communication, be a journalist, because I find out that my I've always had a flair for writing. I find out that's where I feel comfortable. That's where I find myself writing, not in the law. But they wanted me to do law because they said I'm good at arguments. But I did, but it wasn't me really. I did it because that was a thing to do. And in Nigeria, remember I said I grew up in Nigeria, and during the time I grew up, you're either studying medicine, studying law, or maybe an accountant. But those three things are very important to our parents. So I had no choice than to do what my parents wanted me to do.
So now your parents actually tells you what you want to do, and you go and do it. So
Yeah,
basically, you did it to please them.
yeah, we did it. And let me tell you how. And it's not just myself, a lot of us, did the same thing. We studied courses because our parents wanted us to do it. Because no, it's not just only about our parents, the society respected people that did it. It was in while I was in Nigeria that I had, especially when I was admitted to the uh, put it this way, when I was admitted to the bar, then I got the name, I was given the name Honorable the Law. Honorable the Law. So some people call me Honorable the Law. And of course, when you are called Honorable the Law, the barrister, it swells up people's head as someone that's very important at that time, and it's what the society wants, so that they will rest. Oh, it's the law that's coming, let's listen. No matter how stupid what you wanted to stay at that time, people would always want to listen to you because you are a lawyer. If you're an historian, if I study history or English, I may not necessarily get that kind of audience because there's a mentality within that society that some careers are more important than others or prestigious than others, put it that way.
So basically, what we
I lost you. Hello?
I'm coming. Don't worry.
Okay,
With
okay.
these things, we have to keep on muting ourselves and stuff. We are
Yeah.
fighting with the people who are making software so that we don't go through all these muting stuff. Now,
Mm,
what I
mm,
was saying is this: how is that
mm,
that until today, Africa is
mm,
about 60 years of independence. I'm sure
mm-hmm,
our parents, they must have realized that children or yes, their children have got a freedom to choose wanting to do
mm,
what they want to do. So you have just mentioned that if you studied English or history
mm-hmm,
or geography,
mm,
then people are not going
mm-hmm.
to respect you, which is, you see, this
Yeah.
is where we are going wrong. You can see
Mm,
all the prime ministers here in the UK, they all have studied
mm-hmm,
history, they have studied English,
mm,
they have
mm,
studied, oh yeah, they have studied geography. Now,
mm-hmm,
I know there might be a bit of law here and there, but you'll find that, like, so for example, the prime minister we have today is a journalist. Can
mm.
you imagine that? So, anyway,
Yeah.
now let us get into the writing though. So,
Mm-hmm,
right now, okay, you have finished your law degree, and everybody is praising you back home, and they think now you are the person to listen to. So
yeah. At that
now,
time, yeah.
when they see you writing now, what do they think? What do they say?
Well, you know how people are. People will praise you when they see that you succeeded in what you are doing. I've always known that you can do that. People always forget, when you are struggling, when you're trying to make it. But then when But they concentrate so much on the finished product that, oh, you could bring something out. Oh, you could be at this place to speak. Oh, that's fantastic. Well done.
That's what
Human
actually,
nature?
yeah. So
That's
that
human nature, yeah.
okay,
That's
right.
human nature.
Now let us go to the books. You have so
Yeah,
far you have written 3 books, but we are going to
yeah,
concentrate on this the a life. Oh, let me bring it up. A life in the Brody.
yeah. Life in the abroad, yeah. Muted. We are muted.
Yes, I have just
Muted.
to breathing. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, okay.
I will. Now,
Thank you.
if as I was saying, you have written 3 books,
Yes.
but we are going to concentrate life in the Brody. What
Yes.
really
Thank you for
inspired?
getting it right.
Yeah. So, what really inspired you to write this book?
Hmm.
Yeah.
A good question. Like I said again, what inspired me was that when I look at a lot of people within my age group, I find out that a lot of us are doing the same things, better qualified from Africa. And we had a lot of dreams when we came here, but we find out that we couldn't turn our dreams into reality. Very few percentage of us have been able to turn our dreams into reality. And while some are doing well, some are struggling. Give an example. You find that people have properties, they've got houses, but how many people within our community can say they have their CFO in their hand, certificate of occupancy? Meanwhile, back at home, if you buy, if you don't buy properties, you build lands. You know, you build houses, you have your lands, you got hectares of lands. Either you inherit it or not, but you've got all this working for you. But here it is, you come in, you can have about 3 different properties, but you find a lot of the times it's on mortgage, and you've got a specific time to pay off that mortgage. So you find out what exactly is going on. How come some of our parents, I was born in the UK, stated that in the novel, and I've got a few of my peers who were born in the UK, but they returned back to, our parents took us back to Africa because Africa was booming, everything was okay. But here it is, we're here, we're having our families, we're having our children, and a lot I mean, of people wanted to go back and want to go back home, but they can't go back home. They don't even have the resources, and they find out that maybe things, insecurity, a whole lot of things have changed. So they are neither here and they are neither there. So I said, let me talk to my people in a language they understand. And that's one of the reasons I wrote the novel. Because if I put this on statistics, I will bore people. Oh, percentage is this, which I did in the other 2 books. Those ones are good for students and lecturers in the universities and for some of the research programs. But it was written during lockdown mainly, and it's time to inspire and also entertain our people in another aspect. And for me, it's a dream come true. Like I did say, I've always wanted, I've scribbled all my life, written different plots all together, but never got around to it. So to find out that I could actually get around to sitting it, I think it's more commendable. And I would close this particular um, conversation with this. There is an African proverb that says that the Agama lizard is a reptile, that if he climbs a tree called Iroko tree, climb it to the highest, and nobody praises him, he himself would praise himself. And so I've got this novel, it's been out since the 25th, 27th of July, being on Amazon. And I look at it that, well, for me, it's a dream come true. Whether people say, oh, you're doing right or you're not doing right, for me, it's a dream come true. That is, I've, I've released it. Thank you.
This is what really, this is very interesting.
Mm,
You have written a book in the language that your own people will understand. And
yeah.
you have mentioned that many people here in the UK feel
Mm,
that they are doing okay, but still there is
mm,
something challenging. So
mm-hmm,
why do we believe that, or why do we have this mind that we are okay in the UK now, whereas a European goes back to Africa and makes more money than we do?
mm,
So is
mm.
that what you're trying to tell in your book?
Well, not exactly. You see, the issue is this. The state of Africa, whether Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, or Nigeria, or any African country, where um, an African is concerned, I don't want to use the word a black person because all Africans in Africa, the skin color is not our definition. We are Africans. An African is not honored in his hometown. I give you an example. In a country like Nigeria, the government would rather get expatriates from any country abroad, New Zealand, Australia, to do the same job that there are Nigerians in that country that can do. And even, and they will pay them more money than they will pay Nigerians because they don't respect them. That's the itch. A prophet is not honored in his hometown. We are not valued. We don't value ourselves, unfortunately. So we've always have that mindset that it is the grass is greener on the other side. The people there are better than the people that are there. And in that, let me tell you what, I'm laughing at myself now because I remember the first day I arrived in this country. I missed, I think I went to the wrong place, or my plane didn't arrive at the time. So the people that were going to pick me up left because maybe they had to go to work or something. So they told me how to take the train. So I go to London, Victoria. At the time I came into this country, we had these red, those red phones all over. Some of them BT that you have to put a code in. And they said, when you get to the train station, give us a buzz. And that was what I was ready to do. I haven't changed mine. So I went. So I left. I had two big boxes and one other rucksack. So I put them anywhere, just put it anywhere. And I went to phone. So when I came, I saw one of the station attendants said to me, oh, and somebody was already there and they were just about to pack it. And it was like, you're a very careless woman. Somebody else could have taken it. I'm like, in London? No one would steal anything in London. I have that mentality. I could, no one in London. Everything was okay. Nobody would ever think of taking anything in London. Everything was perfect. But the person said, well, we could have taken it away and go to destroy it. But then that was a lesson learned. And so it's a matter of, by the time you leave in this country, you would understand that people are the same everywhere, but different variables. Thank you.
Okay, now talking about the book, you see, I have met so many writers,
Mm,
writers and publishers and authors, of course, I have.
mm,
Self-publishing. Because you see, when you
mm,
publish yourself, it is similar
mm,
to us musicians. I am a musician because
mm,
this is my experience is that when you are doing things by yourself, there are
mm,
always challenges. Either the
mm,
finance to promote the book or the music
mm,
is not there. So, how are you navigating these challenges? I believe you are self published, all right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I
Okay,
am. Yeah.
so you tell the people, because there will be people out there actually wanting to know, how do you come to write a book and publish it without a publisher?
Mm.
Yeah.
Right. Now, life is much more, I will start by saying life is much more easier than it used to be. See, there are traditional publishers who will take your book. Now, if I had a traditional publisher, uh, the traditional publisher, I would have to send my manuscript to the traditional publisher. The traditional publisher, if the traditional publisher looks at it and likes it, he would accept to publish it. The traditional publisher would tell me, you know what, I don't like that title. Why do you use Life in Their Body? And then they would put their own title. But then I would, they would give me a contract. They may pay me in advance for the proceeds of it, but I don't have control over a lot of things with the traditional. And aside of that, you've got to pay through your nose. Um, Let me tell you, we've got individual publishers, of which I am one of them. I had an experience 2019 with my other book, which were present at the book launch. And I found out that it wasn't moving on Amazon. So I was upset. Then I also found out that when I checked my budget, I spent a whole load of money not buying things for myself, because it takes a lot. One, you've got to be ready to make sacrifices, and that was the sacrifices that I made, which was quite hard. I put a lot of money into my books to the extent that sometimes I am broke. When I'm saying I'm broke, I mean broke for the sake of the book, not that I can't feed myself. But that is it. So it's a sacrifice because it's something that I believe in, because I find out that people don't respond to you when you are building, right? I mean, if when you are building, when you're just new, people don't want to notice you. But once they see that you're coming in, that is when traditional publishers will say, "Oh, I like this, I can review this, and then let's do something for you." Having said that, I'm not. I worked with a traditional publisher. You can see Absolute Author in bringing out this particular book. Of course, it cost me um, some money, but not that weighty. Put it that way. So what I would tell other people is that, do you want to write? Do you really believe in what you want to do? You've got to make that sacrifices, and the sacrifices is one: make sure you are bringing out something good. What I mean good, I'm talking about editing. There are a whole lot of people write every day. At least an average of 600 books are released every day. Just It's just only on Amazon, because it's not everyone that puts their book online. It's not everyone that make use of Amazon. So make sure you bring in something fantastic and spend some good quality time on editing. I spent a lot of money on editing. I mean, I thank you that by the time this book came out, I've had four um, editors on this, and I'm like, you know what? Whatever happens, this book has to come out, and if there's a mistake with it, we review it some other time, and that is just what it is. So it takes a lot of it. You'll be frustrated. I wouldn't actually. You can be very, very frustrated, because I was frustrated with this novel. I wanted to pack it up. I was frustrated because um, I spent some time thinking about what I didn't get the exact title, for the book. I even paid some other agencies to generate titles, some publishers that generate titles of books for me. But I find that it was just a waste of money. It was just, it didn't work out. I didn't feel it. And so when I talk about the title of the book, as an author, just like you're a musician, you've got to feel that song. So that when you take to the stage, it's all oozing out of you. And the same thing applies to when you are writing, it feels out of you. I tell you what, some of this, when I wake up in the morning and I just get, this is how the story is going to be today. I'm dreaming, I'm putting myself in the positions of the characters. I'm envisioning it. So it's more or less like, a passion that you've got to bring out. If you don't have the passion, say, I just want to write, it's not going to work, because you're going to release one and you'll find out that your books, they don't move. It's not anywhere, and you wouldn't move it. I hope I've answered your question, Joseph.
You have. Well, I understand, because me as a musician, I stopped. I stopped doing music and pushing it out on YouTube just senselessly, because my wife is always asking me, when are you? Because I've got tons and tons of music, but what I do now, I get contracts just to write, maybe for library music and stuff like that. But that's an example. So now, this novel here, you said you wrote it in Pidgin English. Is it specifically talking to Nigerians, to people who understand Pidgin only?
Okay. Now, let me correct that. What I said is that the title is in Pidgin English. This book, it's in normal English. But just what I've done is that there are certain people that have made some certain statements. It's just like when you meet people within your tribe, people that you've not seen for years, or you want to feel familiar with them. You're not speaking English. You will speak to them in a language that they understand. It's sort of, some jokes, some statements, that brings people together because there's a common language. So there are different kinds of language. You'll be surprised to know there's Swahili in this language. There's Somali language there. There's you've got patois there, because there was a Caribbean man also who came from Jamaica, with his own art designs that way. I mean, there is Yoruba from the southwest of Nigeria, and so there's a whole load. But these are just sentences. But the all is that anyone could read it because it's written in English. The one that's written in either pidgin, for example, let me tell you something interesting, which by the time we get to the book, but I don't want to divert. Um, you talk to people in pidgin if you are very close to them in some certain circles. To just bring the conversation, you talk to them, you feel free, you talk to them, you have a drink together because you have a common language that you can share. I hope that answers your question.
Good. Now, you know, you've lost me,
Yeah,
but I'm
muted
back.
yourself. Thank you.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm
Okay.
back. Don't
Okay.
worry. Don't
Thank
worry.
you. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
let us go back a bit, because the promoting of the book. Promotion is the most difficult thing to do, because you have to
Exactly.
spend a lot of money in promoting the book, and especially if I know having a book on Amazon, it does not mean that people will know about it until you spend time and money promoting it. Unless the Amazon
That's true.
itself, Amazon itself tries to give you a hand to to publicize it. So how are you going on about this? Because it is all part of the challenges you are facing.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things I'm doing is investigation and being correspondent with some agencies, and some agencies said we can help you to do A, B, and C. So I've asked her, how are you going to help me to do A, B, and C? Because I believe one thing here, everyone has a message. Every musician has a message. And the same thing applies to every book as a message. And the best way to promote a book is to get that book to people that will read it. And so I'm looking for agencies that targets novelists, and I've seen one or two, but I'm just looking at their quotes because starting with people like us, Africans nowadays, they don't read, at least people within my age group, very few people read novels. If you're going to on a train early in the morning, I remember that before you get to your destination in the underground there, you will see our Caucasian friends holding a book, reading. In fact, I can remember there was one day I counted, it was in one particular carriage, maybe about 8 of them that were there, 7 of them had one novel or the other. And the same thing when the Kindle, was introduced. People had the black and white Kindle reading, reading, reading. So, but we don't have that. A lot of us don't have that reading culture. We rather rely on Joseph, rely on BC, rely on this to tell us what is in that book than for them to read. I don't know why.
Yes, I know, I know. Our culture is not reading. I know we have got very good writers from Uganda, from everywhere. But we are getting there, slowly, slowly. Now, we are going to finish our program. I know this has been a very good introduction. I think we're going to have you again. But talking about other books you have written, because you have written about migration. You have written about all sorts of things. Now, before we actually leave, how is the law going? Because you are a lawyer. But what do you specialize in?
Yeah, what do I specialize on? That's a good question. I call myself a migration scholar. A migration scholar in the sense that that is what I train as. And I will define what it is by migration scholar for the sake of our viewers. When you say migration, people in their minds, they are more or less like looking at, oh, immigration policies, oh, an immigrant, oh, my papers. But that is not. I mean, migration is about ethnic behavior, it's about their housing, it's about everything, it's about their family life, it's about how their identity mainly. And that's my specialization. I do a lot of presentations in different academic areas, and that is what I do. And to have that, I'm involved in community projects. For example, I'm a volunteer in the news organization company secretary. I know Joseph, you know about the news organization. I'm very active in the news organization because the news organization it's about raises awareness about mental health in the community. I'm also involved in different things in the community which I wouldn't mention publicly, but they are not bad things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
fantastic.
you.
Yeah, I know. I know the organization you are talking about. In fact, yeah, your friend Lade, she has got very complicated names. I'm just going to mention only one name, Lade, and she's watching. Lade, thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting your friend. That's what we need. I came across a clip. Somebody sent me a clip. This was of a Jewish man saying that if a community needs to grow, you grow a community by helping each other. When you see someone struggling somewhere, give that person a hand. And you see, by giving a person a hand, it means that the support, it doesn't matter, it could be monetary, it could be morale, but as we are saying, we are learning these things. I think we are always, we Africans, every individual is on their own. But I can see you guys, you have got a big bond with the Lade and you're always together doing things. I am planning actually to have, because she's also a writer, isn't it?
Oh, Lade is a writer. You need to bring Lade home.
Oh, yeah. No, I will have you both
Yeah.
and someone else so that we have a variety, so that we hear the
mm,
minds of the
mm,
writer. That's why
mm,
I am
mm,
calling this thing Meet the Creative Minds. Now,
mm,
I think
mm.
we are done, and thank you very much for we have been planning this interview for a long time, and it is
Yes, exactly.
eventually it has happened. So next time we will have more time. I will want to push it to an hour because I know
Mm,
I have got all the information, and probably, not probably, I will have read the book Life in the
mm,
Abroad.
mm.
So, but by the way, I'm also reading the African migration, which is
Oh, okay.
yes, yes, because I am very, 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 very much interested in migration. As you are saying, when people hear
Mm,
about migration, they think about papers, they think about
mm-hmm,
permits and stuff like that, but they don't understand
mm,
migration is actually movement, mass
mm,
movement. Animals migrate, birds
mm-hmm,
migrate. So,
mm,
yeah. So,
mm.
and oh, there is a counselor here. Let me bring out this counselor here. I think she has got a comment that she wants to.
Okay. Okay. Oh, the idea. That is one of our politicians in my region. That's Councillor Shiju. I think people want to join the conversation.
They want to join the conversation. Oh, by the way, whoever wants to join the
Mm,
conversation, when you see the caption down there, it means that join on Facebook, join on social media.
mm-hmm,
So this
mm-hmm.
conversation actually goes on. It does not stop here. It goes on to
Of course,
Facebook,
it keeps us on.
and
Yeah.
then it goes on
Mm-hmm,
YouTube. As soon as we finish this,
mm-hmm,
it will be on YouTube ready, and you can
mm.
continue commenting. Now, and for
Yes,
those who have
exactly.
tuned in, but also I have got a Ugandan man, a businessman, very serious one. His name is Willie Mutenza. He's the guy
Mm.
who brings all businessmen
Yeah.
and politicians from Uganda. He's watching. Willie,
Mm.
thank you very much for
Mm.
tuning in. Yes. So, I mean, what can I say? But what I am appealing to
Yeah.
people is this. Um, when
Mm.
we as Africans, we need to help each other. There are plenty of
Mm.
things that Africans are doing. You see,
Mm.
now we have started. We have got PhDs.
Mhm.
We have got
Mhm.
everything. There is nothing we can't do. But what we really
Mhm.
need to do is to put our heads together and start doing things together. Well, enough of
As a
me.
community, yeah.
Yes, this conversation is between me and Olivia B, J-Olajide Aluko. I've got that one right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
You got that right. And what I want to add is that the book is presently available on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also available on Akadaba, and next month will be the official um, launch. So I
Okay.
mean, that's it really. I mean, the book is, like I did say, the book is not just about, migration movement of people. There are a lot of twists, suspense, betrayals, just like I did say to you, a lot of secrets. There's, crime, different things, different twists, different suspense. One of the things I want to say to everybody is that people are not, migrants, people are not the color of the skin. These are people that got blood running in their veins. These people are, capable of romance. They are capable of succeeding. Because one of the things I like about this novel is that even though the struggle was rough, but
Yeah.
these people actually, within the structure of the UK, they actually achieve their dreams. The lady here that you could see, she achieved a dream. She came in as a lawyer. And in fact, she started qualifying lawyers transfer test right from Nigeria, but she only had one to do. But somewhere along the line, with children, no child care, the things that we find that a lot of us cannot do the things that we want to do, either as mothers or as fathers, because we find out that we've got to take the children into consideration. It's not, a country where you go housemates or where you got that kind of up. So you find out that somebody may have to give up their job, give up their daytime job, or taking a lesser pay. Those are a lot of challenges that our minds are not prepared for. And sometimes, it gets in such a way that it actually damages, families' confidence, especially the man who may have been a manager, then coming here, you find out that you've got to take in a lower job that we would see in one of the characters over there, a lecturer coming from Kenya, very well liked, received a lot of award from Kenya as a lecturer. He's discovered different things, only for him to come to UK and he is working in the warehouse as a factory worker. How is that? How is that?
Olivia, we know that. I think that is another show because we want
Yeah.
to find out why these things do happen. But please, shout out
Yeah.
to Lade's organization because you know it better. Because she's saying here on the chat that you are an honorable member, the co-founder of, is it NUOS?
The News Charity Incorporated organization. The News Charity Incorporated organization started in 2015. It's an organization that I've been involved from the foundation, and I've worked with Lade, and I will say it so that everyone could understand is that I work with Lade in the news organization, and we don't feel how would I put it? We do a whole lot of things together. We travel together. Not necessarily be while I'm facing migration, she's facing her own side of mental health. And so we cooperate. There's no jealousy, there's no backbiting that she doesn't feel threatened. I don't feel threatened. We cooperate. So we can see ourselves as impacting our communities, and that is what we aim to do, and that is what we are doing.
Okay, so Lade,
Thank you very much for joining.
yes.
I really do appreciate you.
Now, Lade, I know you are watching.
You.
Let us have you on the program next week. You see, this is what I love. You see, when we have got our own, we are in control. We can invite anyone, anytime, any place. So, Lade, if you are there, I know you are watching. Next week, we want to have you on the program. How about that? Maybe you can come back with Olivia. Let us talk about news organization because you guys, you are doing a big job. You are talking about mental health, which is really another big topic and which is really, really disturbing a lot of people, not only Africans. Next week, let us have it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we need to go. We should have gone 5 minutes ago. So, but we forgot ourselves because the chat now was getting interesting. Now, this is what I want to say. This program, let me repeat again. I am going to repeat it next week in the middle of the week, right? So that for those who have missed it, they don't have to miss again. But you will still watch it on social media. In fact, I will send a link to Olivia so that she can share it with you. As for now, I must say goodbye. But before we say that, let me play our jingle for the book. Yes, until then, we'll see you next week. And Olivia, thank you very much for being a special guest on
Thank you,
AILTV.
Joseph, for having me.
Yeah, this is
Thank you
Africans
for
in
having me.
London TV. We move slowly. This is like a tortoise moving, but very sure. Until then, ciao.